here we are. This is Sex Love Psychedelics, and I'm your host, Dr. Kat, bringing you psychosexual conversations that will leave you intellectually turned on and hungry for more. There's an interesting, as I was taking your course and studying with you over the past year, from my therapist lens, looking at this and notice, and from my trauma background, my trauma therapy background, noticing in my own self how the experience of feeling like my nervous system was reset. I was, my nervous system felt grounded and regulated after the experience of Kambo, or even immediately after. I felt a lot more grounded and clear-minded. And so I saw that as, you say higher self, and then from therapy, it would be, this self energy, this nervous system regulated, grounded state where we are a lot more clear, we're a lot more confident, present, grounded, curious, compassionate, like we're able to access those more than when we're in a dysregulated state, or when our nervous system is more of a fight or flight or freeze or fawn state, where that's where all these mental chatter and these fears and these projections are present, because we are in a state of survival. So I saw it as the peptides, and let's be sure to define what peptides are, but helping the whole system to reset, to have the clarity of mind. I got into it I got into it because I was invited into a ceremony years ago, and it was that hard reset that I didn't realize that I was looking for. I was struggling with chronic fatigue and foggy brain, digestive issues, aches in my body, a lot of inflammation and puffiness. And this was like a, system restart, computer defrag. And I come out and I'm like, holy shit, I have so much energy. I feel clear. I feel vibrant. I feel calm. I can deal with this breakup in a way that I can compassionately look at the person and be like, it's okay, we're just not a fit. Versus before, I was like, you fucking hurt my feelings. You broke my heart,
Yeah, well, I mean, I think that's just a great way of saying it, actually, Kat, because it's very true. I mean, other than the fact that we know there's a peptide that actually affects the central and peripheral nervous system, and then we know there's peptides that will hit some of the brain receptors too. But like, we're a totality of a being. We're not just all of these cells and muscle and skin. We're also an energetic system, or a chi system, whatever term you want to use, and we're also like a consciousness.
Yeah.
And so that's a whole totality there. And so we can talk about the peptides and what they do physiological on the physical level, but then and then that will have an effect also on the other levels, for sure, because of that totality that we have. So I think you said it in a really lovely and beautiful way, that it's a bit of a reset. It really is. And I think that's a term that people use quite a bit, is I just feel like I'm reset, like I'm sort of in the flow of life.
Mm-hmm. And aren't we all looking for a reset button? Like, we want that red button, that easy button, or like bing, and it just like start again.
we talk a lot about, just don't do that so often. Like, do it when it's time. That reset.
Tell us more.
Well, there's so many people using medicines to sort of hide and avoid and escape life, medicine. So we use the term medicine here for natural medicines, and that wouldn't be used in the Western world. I just want to make that clear. We use the word medicine because in the jungle they call Kambo Medicina. So when I say medicine, that's what we're referring to.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
So if you, and Ginny and I were discussing this yesterday about, building that information. And if you do Kambo or whatever, ayahuasca or whatever it is you're doing, UFO is coming up on the grid a lot lately. And if you're doing it so often that you're not really gathering that information, beforehand, or then you don't really, the learning seems to be diminished to me, from what we notice out there anyways, and people aren't able to have that big shift that they're really looking for, because if information hasn't built, then it's not ready to take the next step up, or to take that person where they need to go next, possibly. Maybe I'm wrong, but it's sort of what we see over and over again, is that people tend to benefit from this really time in between that gives them enough time to build what it is they really need to work on, because you'll think it's one thing and sometimes it's something else, you know?
Yeah. I liken it to, well, any of these psychedelics or any, psychotropic medications as tools to be able to help us to get out of a dark hole so that we can have the energy, or we have the insight, or we have the ability to do the things that we need to keep us out of there. It's like, we talk a lot about the importance of integration after an experience, whether it's a therapy session or whether it's a psychedelic ceremony. It's like, how are you taking what you just learned and then taking that abstract learning and put it into concrete reality with steps, with practices, with rituals? Well, that was fun. Thanks for tuning in, lovers. And if you want to experience more ecstasy and sexual liberation, head over to sexlovepsychedelics.com and learn about how you can join me for any one of my online or live events. And while you're there, grab my free guide on sex and psychedelics. Remember, this podcast is for entertainment and educational purposes only. Please contact your healthcare provider and local law before pursuing any of the products or psychedelics discussed. And one final note here. I make this show specifically for you. If you're loving the show, then be sure to leave me a review in iTunes or Spotify to let me know. Happy to be here and happy to serve. I'll see you next time on Sex Love Psychedelics.